Coach Debelak, let's get started with a few questions for you and then move on to Drew. Entering last year, you had to replace a number of players from 2017 team that won a share of the President's Athletic Conference title. This year, you're returning an overwhelming number of starters from 2018 that won 8 games. How does having the majority of your impact players back from last year impact your expectations for 2019?
Well, I think you heard coaches talk. Expectations, like internally, I think never change. I think externally we might be viewed in a more favorable position. You know, internally, we expect our guys to come in and welcome our freshmen. You know, teach them how to be part of our family. You know, support them, support each other. You know, the main thing is culture that we really work on. And if you take care of that, you know, the wins will come. I think a change in coaching staff, how we look upon the team. Last year, I think the coaches had to do a lot of heavy lifting as far as leadership and teaching guys on, you know, what the expectations are and how to do things. And this year, we're going to put that more on our experienced kids. I think that'll be the difference. That we're still a relatively young team. You know, we could start a lot of freshmen and sophomores last year, but they've all had experience, and now we can, I think, just put it on them a little bit more than just the coaches doing all the work.
On defense, your team's returning 9 starters, including All-American PAC Defensive Player of the Year Cam Brown and 2-time All-PAC safety Patrick Crossy. With an experienced, successful group coming back, what do you foresee the defense accomplishing in 2019?
Well, I think the keys are the leadership on that side of the ball is exceptional. Cam Brown is a great physical talent, but I think he is by far the best leader we've had on that side of the ball as far as what he does in the off season and the example that he shows the younger kids on how to become good. It just didn't happen by accident or just because of pure talent. And the same could be said of Patrick Crossy. You know, Patrick will be a 4-year starter and just exemplifies just leadership and work ethic and just showing guys the proper way of going about preparation to be successful. And that's on and off the field. So with strong leadership, I think we have a great chance to be pretty good. But so much of that is reliant upon, you know, can we stay healthy? You know, but right now, you know, we feel pretty good because of the amount of kids we have coming back and the type of people we have on that side of the ball.
On the offensive side of the ball, the area you were losing the most starters from last year's team is your receiving corps. How do you plan on replacing those receivers and adapting your offensive plan to accommodate all the new faces at that position?
Well, I think we have one face returning that's pretty good. He's one of the best in the country, Jude Morgan. He's a receiver. We've never really had a kid with his sort of skill set, 6'5", 215 pounds, runs well, catches the ball great. So we plan on utilizing him for sure. And we'll move him around. Colt's relatively new to football. He was more of a basketball player in high school, so he's continued to grow. And I think he's ready to expand his game and play different positions, inside, outside, motioning, things like that. And it's definitely helps to have a guy like Drew back at quarterback with 10 games under his belt, knows our system very well. You know, again, a great leader. He was voted captain as a sophomore. So again, we can lean on him to help develop those younger receivers also.
Last question, and let's stick with Drew Saxton, who immediately emerged as one of the top quarterbacks in all of Division III as a freshman. Talk a little bit about what you think made him so successful during his first year of collegiate football, and how can Drew continue to grow as a player?
Well, I think his development in high school was critical. Just how quarterbacks have been developed at his high school. That program has done a great job developing tremendous quarterbacks. So when he came in, we knew we had a pretty polished guy, and he exceeded our expectations. You know, where he goes from here, you know, I think as the season went on as a freshman, we put more and more on him, and I think that will continue. I think we'll develop a trust in him to take care of, you know, audibling more, taking care of protection, we put a lot on him last year as a freshman, and I think we can put even more on because he's more than prepared to handle that.
Coach Debelak, thank you. Drew, a couple questions for you. You had one of the best seasons by a freshman quarterback at any NCAA division last season. What adjustments do you think you have to make to adapt your game from last year to your sophomore year?
Yeah, I think just getting kind of freshman mistakes away. As a freshman, coaches really, they see that you're going to make those little mistakes, and I think kind of eliminating those out of my game is going to be very key. I think just being able to rely on other guys, and then they can rely on me and kind of trust my receivers, trust my line and all that thing. Try not to be so weary back there. Trust my line for sure, because I know they have my back at all times, and just really try to improve every day.
Continue talking about raising your game as a sophomore, and talk a little bit about the goals you set for yourself this season. I don't know if you came into your freshman year knowing that you were going to have the successes that you had, but what's in store for Drew this year?
I think just trying to work hard, be the best version of me I can be. People try and come around and compare to like other quarterbacks that we've had, Rob Kuda, Dan Whalen, even my coach Kevin Burke. But I think just trying to be the best version of myself on and off the field. I'm not a big scrambler. I'm not going to run around there for a lot and gain yards with my feet, but I think my skill set I play well with, and I'm just going to try and do what I do best and kind of try and improve on that every day.
Jude, last question for you, and Coach talked a little bit about Colt Morgan. It seemed the two of you really developed a strong on-field rapport last year. 79 catches, 1,094 yards, 18 touchdowns. What made you such a successful duo, and how does having a player with Colt's skill set help move your game to the next level?
Yeah, I think obviously you could see Colt's size, 6'5", can run well. But I think the best thing that he does is he gets separation from defensive backs at the top of his routes, and when he cuts, he's able to get that extra step out of his break that really helps him. And then once the ball's in the air, he's good at going to get it. And I think now defenses are going to obviously realize Colt's a big target, so I think if they double him or shade over to him, I think it's going to open up a lot more areas for our other receivers, which Colt won't have a problem with at all. If he gets less catches this year, it won't bother him at all as long as we're winning and as long as he's having fun on the field, and I think that's the biggest thing. I can't wait to work with Colt and also a lot of the other receivers this year.
Coach Debelak, Drew, thank you, gentlemen. Case Western Reserve opens its season Saturday, September 7th at the University of Rochester.